Welcome to Points of View by Linda, and I'm Linda Morelli. It's nice to see you. So this is my YouTube channel, Dating Over 50. If this is something that interests you, please hit your subscribe button and invite others to as well. That would be great if we could get some following. So tonight's topic, how to create a good dating profile. This was suggested by a friend of mine on my Facebook page. And I think it's a great topic and it's important. So, how do you create a good profile? Truth be told, I think the first place you should start is Google. Believe it or not, go to Google and then type in, how do you create a good profile on a dating site? And all sorts of websites will pull up with a ton of suggestions, many of which I'm going to be going over tonight. Then Google sample profiles for a woman, sample profiles for a man on a dating site. And they will show you examples of good dating profiles, and they'll show you samples and examples of badly written profiles. Look at them and steal them, Take some of the information that you like, the wording that they use, and then just make it yours. Make it around your lifestyle and your likes and dislikes. Change the wording, but follow the basic template that they've established for you in that profile. It's why it's there. They want you to do that. The dating sites need you to have a decent profile so that you'll get visitors. That's the whole thing. So yeah, Google it. Believe it or not, I think it's a great way to come up with some ideas. Then write down your basic information, the information that you want there to be in your profile, and go onto the dating site and fill out just the basics that you need to fill out to get your profile up. You're going to start with pictures. Post only current photos, or at best, the majority of your pictures, make sure they're current. I happen to have one picture that's about 10 years old, and the reason I posted it is it's me playing the guitar and singing in my coffee shop. And I don't have any current photos of me playing my guitar and singing, but that's something that's really important to me. I identify that the photo is 10 years old, but my reason for having it there is so that people can see that music and playing instruments is very important to me. That's the only reason it's on there. All the rest of my photos are current. The other thing is post photos showing your full length. That's really hard for someone like me. I'm fluffy. I'm a big girl. And when you're overweight, it doesn't feel good to expose yourself like that. You feel very vulnerable and you feel like you're subjecting yourself to criticism. But it's still important. And the reason is because they're going to find out at some point. And it doesn't feel good to be surprised. And I'm going to tell you an example. Several years ago, I met a gentleman on the dating site, and from up here, he looked great, and he was very nice looking. And so we hit it off. Instantly. Our communication was fantastic. We were text messaging, we were talking on the phone, and it was really lovely. And then we met in person, and he was so big that he could barely walk. And I'm just going to be graphic, his stomach was so large that it really hung down. And although he was lovely, I wasn't attracted to that. I couldn't get past that. He was physically limited, and that was a bother for me. And I just wasn't attracted to it. And so I felt cheated because he wasn't honest. He didn't indicate anywhere on his profile that he was overweight. Nowhere in his profile did he say that he was big. I think that he used the terminology a few extra pounds, and that wasn't the case. And it doesn't feel good to be deceived like that. If he had told me that he had a weight issue, I could have prepared myself mentally and been more prepared. And then he could have sent me pictures that were more appropriate. So be nice. take current photos. It's just not nice. And I want someone to see my picture and say, yeah, she's big, but I think she's cute and I want to give it a try. It's just really important. So do it. Also, if you're going to use photos that have other people, be prepared that the website, the dating app, might not let you. Also, if you're including other people in your photos, make sure that you stand out so that the person looking at your profile can identify which one is you. It's interesting. I received a message not too long ago from a gentleman, and the picture had him with another guy. And to this day, I have no clue which one he was. He didn't identify. And there were no other pictures. It was just that one picture, and I didn't know which one was him. So make sure that you're prominent in the picture and that it's easy to figure out who you are. And then include pictures of activities that you enjoy. So if you're a skier, put the picture of you on the mountain in there. If you're somebody like me who loves coffee shops and wineries and good restaurants, maybe, post some pictures of a day at the winery with some friends or something like that. But it's important for people to see what you like to do, and they like to see you doing it. Nobody likes just the professional pose, from the photographer. Those are boring. And just a heads up, by the way, if you see a picture that's clearly taken by a professional photographer, chances are it's a scam. So we're going to have another video about scams at another time, but just be aware of that. If it's clearly a professional picture, chances are you'll find it in Google Images somewhere. So just be mindful. Also, know what your deal breakers are. Be clear what your deal breakers are. My deal breakers are smokers, married men, and men who've never had children and who are not a parent. Those are my interests. Children. I have 10 children. I love family. I dream of growing old with my future partner and having all of our kids and grandkids over every Sunday for dinner. So I definitely want to meet somebody with kids. It's a deal breaker if you don't have kids. That's just my thing. Smoking, I don't want to deal with that. And clearly, if I want to get married again, I can't be with someone who's married. And also, I don't want to have to deal with some guy who's cheating. He's going to cheat on me if he cheated on her. So we're not going to go there either. But just make sure that you know what your deal breakers are. Be clear about that. And then specify what you're looking for. Are you looking for marriage? Are you looking for long term? Are you looking for hookups? Are you looking to just date or make friends? Oftentimes the dating app will have all those different criteria. Be honest. You're going to meet people who lie about that, though. I'm just going to be clear. I met a lot of guys who said they were looking for a relationship when all they wanted was a one-night stand. And it happens all the time. That'll be another topic because we have to talk about intimacy at some point. But for this video, with regards to specifying what you're looking for, be clear. State if you are poly or bisexual, or if you're okay if your partner is, and also if you're looking for monogamous or platonic. That's going to come up and it's going to be important. So just make sure that when you're creating your profile that you're honest about that. Don't be vague. Don't be evasive. Just don't. You'll save a lot of time. Be clear. So you don't need to write a novel either. Nobody likes to read a book. You can create, a well-written profile, but it doesn't have to be, 3 pages long. Know what you want and talk about it. Talk about what you're attracted to. Are you attracted to people who are healthy and active? Are you attracted to people who like to exercise and value fitness? Talk about that. Translation, you're attracted to probably what would be thin people or appropriate, body weight. That's just a polite way of saying I'm not really interested in somebody who has an obesity issue. That's okay. Be clear. A lot of times people will put in their profile, I'm more interested in the intellectual chemistry than I am, what your body looks like. They'll say that. And I happen to be somebody who's very attracted to intellect. I find it really attractive. And so I'm not going to be as inclined to worry about how tall or short someone is versus are they intelligent and able to have a conversation with me, things like that. So just be very clear. If you're active, describe what that looks like. The word active, it can cover a whole lot of stuff. I like to ski. I like to go bowling. I like to run, jog, whatever. Describe what active is. Try to avoid the cliches. Things like, I'm a girl who likes to have fun. Well, let me tell you, that can mean a whole lot of different things. Fun can mean I like to go bowling. I like to go sing karaoke. I like to put my dance pole up in the bedroom. Fun is not clear enough. You need to be clear. So identify, what are the things that are fun for you? Fun for me are coffee shops, good restaurants, and wineries. I also have a lot of fun being at home cooking on a Sunday afternoon, watching Netflix, and even more so, impromptu trips to the beach for the weekend. That's fun for me. Other people might not find those things fun. So identify what's fun. A lot of people like to travel, and they say, love to travel. What does travel mean? Because for someone like me, I don't like cruise ships, and I don't really have an interest in traveling internationally, but I really love, as I said just a minute ago, impromptu trips to the beach, and I really at some point want to get an RV and travel around our country. So I like to travel, but I don't necessarily want to go to Hawaii or Mexico. That's just not something that interests me. So be clear about what do you mean by you like to travel. Be positive. Seriously, be positive. Have some humor. A well-written profile is going to have some sort of a catch thing. Something's going to catch somebody's eye. But be positive. Believe it or not, there's a lot of profiles out there that are snarky and negative, and it's weird. It's like, wow, you are an angry person. I don't want to meet you. And their pictures look angry too, Who wants to meet somebody that looks pissed off? I don't, I just move on, swipe left. So be positive. Just remember, when you meet the people who lie, and you will, it's not personal. So remember, when you're writing your profile, don't lie. Be truthful, be transparent, because it doesn't feel good to be deceived. So when people lie to you, don't take it personally. It's not about that, but also practice what you're going to preach, basically. Follow the golden rule, especially in your profile. I talk about how important my children and grandchildren are. For me, as I said, I want to partner with kids, so I do address them in my profile. I also talk about, I want to meet somebody who has kids so we can have shared activities. So talk about how important whatever those activities are in your profile. Check for grammar and spelling. Proofread your profile. If you are not good at spelling, have a friend do it, because it's sloppy and it shows a lack of intelligence and character, and it also kind of gives off the feeling that you just don't care. So check it for spelling. It takes 5 minutes. If you're not good, have a friend do it or run it through some sort of a spell check program. But I will move on. If I see spelling errors, especially words that are kind of easy, I move on. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Be safe. Don't put stuff in your profile that gives your personal information. Don't put your full name. You'd be amazed at how many men's profiles actually have their full name. Don't do that. You need to be safe and you want to be mindful. And I would also consider limiting your pictures to appropriate members. You know, don't put your kids in your pictures. Or if you do, you know, don't make the faces identifiable. Set clear boundaries and expectations of what you want and make that clear in your profile. And also, some of the profiles have chemistry tests. Take them. So that way people can see, you know, what you're interested in and what you're like. Answer as many of the questions as you can and fill out as much of the information that's available, like what color hair you have, what color your eyes are. Do you have kids? Do you want kids? Do you drink? Do you do drugs? Do you smoke? Answer those questions because you're going to want that information when you're looking at the profiles. They want it too. Also on OkCupid, they do this neat thing where you can answer questions, and there's tons of them. And some of them are pretty sexual. Others deal with religion, lifestyle, preferences, politics. Answer the questions, because what's interesting with that is it will show a compatibility by percentage. And I've met some really interesting people who were up in the 90%, 98% area based on our answers and our and the questions. And you can look and see what they answered. It's really kind of cool. So please make sure, for a good profile, fill out the information. It's really frustrating to go look at a profile where they don't say anything. You don't get any information about that person, but what you do get is they're not interested in really meeting anybody, because someone who's serious is going to give information of some kind. They're going to talk about what do they consider to be a great idea for a first date. They're going to talk about themselves a little bit, what they're looking for. But just remember to, you know, use some humor, use some intelligence, be positive, and make it kind of fun. But definitely either look at other profiles and get ideas from there that you see that you like, or Google it. Maybe have a friend look at it. Don't make it too long, and make sure that it's clear and that it's easy to read and figure out. People don't want to search for the information. And with the pictures, they are really important. They say a lot about you, but nobody's really interested in just a picture of your flower garden or your dog. Make sure that you're in the picture. And make sure that you talk about who you are as a human. I say in my profile that I work in social work, and that I am a person who really loves to volunteer, and that my family means a great deal to me. And I make that very clear, that I'm interested in somebody who is close to their family. I also prefer to meet people who drink, because I like a good cocktail and I like wine. So I put in there that I drink. I'm not 420 friendly, by the way. I put in my profile, I'm not 420 friendly. That will come up. So things like that. That's what makes a good profile. Positive, upbeat, to the point, clear, easy to read. And just make sure that you proofread it and that it's legible and that there's no spelling errors. I would love to know some suggestions for future videos. I think the next video is going to talk about the various dating sites, free versus not free, matchmakers, professional matchmakers. So if you have some suggestions or ideas, or if you would like to give me some of your stories, and you know who your favorite dating sites are and whether you think you should pay or not pay, put it in the comments, and I'll read what you have to say, and we'll address it with the next video on Sunday. So I wish you well. Have a great day, And for now, just remember that you are cherished and you are enough. Ciao.